And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, your number one consumer advocate program here, helping you win in over 80 categories of business and finance, health, nutrition, lots of areas that we can help you with here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And it's all about you, our radio listeners, our viewers on our TV show out there. We're 4 o'clock drive time right here on AM 860, The Answer, weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. Tune in on Sunday mornings. And we have our TV show version as well on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, 85 other smart television outlets. We're on Binge Networks. Just search Binge Networks on those outlets, as well as WeBeam TV as well. So we are here in studio. It's all about you, helping you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show, and we want to help you. Intelligent Talk Radio, we got our A team in the house today. Let's make our introductions. Diane, Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, welcome in.
Hey, thank you, and happy birthday, Brandon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I won't ask how old you are. I know you're like 30. Anyways,
yeah,
so I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I really love the show, so appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. We're going to talk about some loan changes, different things happening in the mortgage market, support your local economy. And we got our local appraiser here as well in studio, Ray Hall, Hall Appraisals.
Thanks for having me back. Great to be here, as always.
Man. My pleasure. So, Thanks for coming in.
I love discussing the values, and, we've got that different market going these days, so it's nice to come in here and, bring that information to the listeners.
That's right. Yeah, Ray dropped some knowledge around making proper offers. A lot of times sellers are asking, hey, how far can we push that limit from the buying side? You got to be careful. Make sure your realtors will pull in the comparables for you. And Ray's got an offer that he'll put out in the show here later as well.
Yes, I will.
Awesome. Attorney Jason Kobal in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Great to see you, Brandon. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Always looking forward to being here, sharing some information. I usually learn something, too, every time. So, great show.
Isn't it neat how we have, all these great minds coming together, and everybody's got their specific knowledge that they're expert at. That's what I love about it is, you have that information. Now we're sharing that with the public, and it's Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's, number one consumer advocate based show, because there's not many doing what we do. We do something very different here, and it's serving the community. And as a real estate agent in the area, we see a lot of stuff from a real estate perspective. My wife and I own a team at Keller Williams Realty, and we want to help you win. That's the goal, helping you as your consumer advocate. Check our website out, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. And then also our hotline number. Our hotline is 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And we love it when the hotline blings. Give us a call anytime, and call or text. Now, and the reason why we put this show on is to engage with you. And we've had an uptick in calls lately, especially, on the 860 The Answer, the 102.5 The Bone. People are listening, they're responding, they're wanting to find out more about the value of their home. They're wanting to find out more about a rent versus own analysis. We'll talk about that with Diane Vance here with Fairway Independent Mortgage on how much money people are throwing away in rent versus what they could own a home for. And I love when Jason comes on the show, because we're talking about updates to the law, different things happening in personal injury, workers' comp type law. So it's a lot of fun that we have here on the show, but ultimately we want to help you live a better life. We feel the mainstream media has kind of let down the American public in a lot of ways with a lot of the sensationalism out there, and that's why this show's different. So we're going to come at you with some really insightful advice and ways that you can live a better life. And this is the time of year where you want to reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. Let me tell you, I went down and saw Steve and Lisa Gunnan with Replenish IV Solutions. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold, but we're going to overcome it here. But Replenish IV Solutions is the science of nutritional balance. Now, what they do is they hook you up to like a Myers cocktail. It's going straight into your bloodstream. So a lot of the pills that you take, they're diluted. They're not getting into your body. They're going through the digestive tract. But when you go to Replenish IV Solutions, they're going to plug you up, get you that proverbial oil change, and it really helps me. It feels really awesome. You get the Myers cocktail, Revitalize. They've got one that's even called Weekend in Vegas, and I know some of us have been there, right? So Weekend in Vegas, assist in decreasing recovery time. So there's some awesome opportunities to go and check them out. Longtime friends of the program as well, Replenish IV Solutions. Say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan. They've got an office on Gandy Boulevard right next to Dalton Dental, and and also up north on the north side of Tampa at Bear Sindel Mabry. They're at Bear Sindel Mabry there. So let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, we want you to save the date. We got a fun event coming up. This is a really cool opportunity to meet two world champion fighters. Ken Shamrock's going to be back in town. Save the date, Wednesday, January 8th. And, of course, Tampa's own Antonio Tarver. We're hosting an event over at Florida Firearms Academy. Thomas King and his team are going to be gracious hosts there. Wednesday, January 8th at Florida Firearms Academy. All the tickets are available on Eventbrite. And Eventbrite.com, you got $15 general admission or a $50 VIP meet and greet where you can have one item signed as well. So Ken Shamrock, UFC Hall of Famer, WWF wrestling legend, and now founder of Valor BK, going to be in town. Also Antonio Tarver, Tampa's own Antonio Tarver, 5-time world boxing champion, and he is a co-star in the movie Rocky Balboa as well with Sylvester Stallone. All right, so awesome stuff happening there. And let's jump right into it. We've got Diane Vance here in studio, and Diane is a wealth of knowledge. She's a regional manager. She's got something like 40 different folks that are working underneath her branch in the way that she operates with the real estate industry and the mortgage industry. So what are you seeing out there? We hear that conforming loans are changing.
Yeah, actually a lot of changes in January. So for those folks out there, a conforming loan is when you can go up to a certain amount, and then the guidelines are all very similar, but then when you go above that, it goes into what is called a jumbo market, which is a little different. But the loan amounts changed up to $510,400 is your conforming loan amount, meaning that you can get just a straight conventional loan before you go into what is called the jumbo loan market. Yep. And usually a little better pricing, easier guidelines, those type things. And then the FHA is increased to $331,760 is the new FHA limits, because when the conforming loan limits increase, so do the FHAs. And big one is VA. They have no limit anymore on their.
Wow.
Yeah. So, there is no limit for your zero down program.
Why do people, and I just dealt with this on another property. It seems like sometimes people are hesitant to take a VA loan.
And I don't know why. There is no cost to the seller. There's no additional cost, at least not with our company. There's no additional cost. VA loans are great loans. They're very, the only difference is that a VA appraiser has to appraise it, but that's not a big difference. Yep. Because all of it, you can talk about this a little bit. A lot, the appraisers are the appraisers, so it's all about facts and values. Yep. So I'm not sure why people would not want to take a VA.
They sometimes say, "Oh, it's stacked in their favor. It's stacked in their favor." I'm trying to understand. Is it the repairs? Like if something were to show up, there's a certain amount of repairs.
That is a strict part in the VA. I'm not a VA appraiser, but the appraisal process is a little more strict. And a little more strict on things they find.
Yeah, it's very similar to FHA as far as it's safety and health issues is what it is. So if it's going to come up on a VA, most likely it's going to come up on the others as well. But there's a lot of misconception out there about a VA, but it's a really, these are our guys that fought for our country and keep us safe, and it's like I don't understand. It used to be that sellers had to pay a lot of the closing costs. They do not anymore. Yeah. So that has went away. So there's really no reason. It's the most lenient product out there as far as the veteran goes. Yep. And even for the seller, when you have a VA, it's if you get them pre-qualified, it's pretty certain that it's going to go. Now, if the appraisal comes in with repairs or something like that, of course, but it's a safety and health issue the same way as the other appraisals.
They want to make sure they're giving the veteran a nice property that they're going to have to drop a lot of money into. Yeah. And
the nice thing is if they can't come up with a value, what they do is do what is called a tidewater. They send that so you have 48 hours to the realtors. They let them know, hey, listen, I'm not coming up to this value. Do you have some additional comps that you could help me with?
Nice.
So
I like that.
So that is that's the VA only does that. So it's a little bit of a nice thing there. We don't have issues with VA. We're a big VA lender. Yep. And of course, we support our veterans. So we do a lot of that. So we do a ton of VAs, and I really don't have any issues. Not really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's switch gears. Let's talk, by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Support the local economy here by supporting Fairway Independent Mortgage, Diane Vance. And we're talking about renters right now. We're in a position where the renters are paying 30 to 40% higher than they could actually own for, given that the mortgage rates are so low.
Yeah, and I just did a rent versus own for a customer. $1,480 is what they pay. and their conventional mortgage would be, with taxes and insurance, probably about the same. FHA would be just about the same as well. So for $1,480, you can get they're paying $88,802. I think this is on a $200,000 house, I think. I'm trying to remember which one I was doing. I'm sorry, hold it here. $200,000.
Yep.
And so you can, what they pay over 15 years, this is a big one, man. And I just did some videos and some facts on videos. I just did it's called an influencer video. And and some of the facts are that if you notice, most people that have a lot of wealth own their own real estate.
Right.
They don't rent.
Right.
They just don't. It just doesn't happen. So, but over 15 years, they're paying $266,418 in rent.
Wow.
If they own a house, their principal that they paid is $65,506.
Wow.
So a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wealth in your pocket. So
Absolutely.
People should definitely not be renting if they can. And there's a lot of help out there for down payment.
Yes.
There's a lot, as long as you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And if it's just to start for credit,
Yep.
Find out where your credit's at. Don't be afraid. We don't judge. I promise.
Yeah.
Things happen. So, start there, and then there may be a process. Some people have to wait a few months or a year or whatever,
Yep.
but we can kind of figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of examples as well where you're paying $1,200 in rent, but you could buy something for $900 a month. So there's a difference in rental per month, not only out of pocket per month,
right,
but also over the long term, what you're paying down in principal, what you're taking advantage of in tax write-offs as well. You have tax write-offs on some of your interest paid. There's a lot of benefits there. So let's do a rent versus own analysis. If you're somebody that knows of someone that's in this position, they're renting, they're throwing money away, paying the landlord's mortgage, why don't you text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our consumer advocate hotline. Just simply text rent and the amount of rent to 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number, 813-670-7372. And text the word rent and the amount of rent. And then Diane, Vance, and her team will put together a rent versus own analysis. And that's going to break down for you in simple, plain English, right next to each other, the numbers versus what you could be paying and owning a home for.
That's right. Yes. And you'll be shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. People are amazed when they find out how much they can actually buy.
So you're setting yourself up for a brighter future. Your kids are going to see, wow, we own this house. We don't rent this house, and the joke I always make is you can throw cool parties and not worry about getting kicked out,
That's
right?
true.
Unless it's your HOA or something, maybe your HOA might get on you a little bit. If
I
you
never
have
threw those parties.
Yeah, right. The homeowners association and so if you're a tenant, hey, you could be given an eviction notice right away if you get too wild with your parties. But
well, it's very stable. It's a stable environment for children. It's a stable environment for a family.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a very stable environment. And it's it's fun.
Absolutely.
And while you're living there, you're building your own wealth.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's the idea. Building your wealth, getting stronger financially. It's going to have that mental capacity as well. Your self-esteem is going to be there. It's going to help overall just give a snowball effect to your life just by owning a home versus renting. So consumerqb.com is your resource as well. You can submit an email form there if you're driving and you can't text rent versus own to consumerqb.com. Just submit an email form there. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. Diane, Vance, Ray Hall, Appraisals in studio, Jason Kobal as well, attorney Jason Kobal in the house. And we have a feel-good story of the day. Find out about these employees that got a $10 million holiday bonus. That's a pretty cool bonus at the end of the year. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo!
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals and buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. We've got a property that's listed and reduced as well. We just did a $15,000 price reduction on this property at 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. Now, this property is a waterfront 2-story home, completely remodeled on the inside as well, and it's got a large lanai, screened-in lanai, pavers throughout as well, and direct access on a freshwater canal to the upper Tampa Bay. So you can boat to dinner. The lake is a large lake filled with bass, all types of great fishing there at 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. And it's 5 to 10 minutes from the Tampa airport, depending on traffic. So it's perfect for that person, that busy person that's on the planes on the weekends or whatever type of lifestyle you might live there at 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. And we also have another awesome property on the beach. 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach is available. Now, this property is 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. There's actually a 3rd bedroom in the back with no closet. And it's an updated kitchen, gorgeous home, and literally 200 steps, and you're on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Clearwater Beach here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. That's Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza on Bay Street. Taps Restaurant, Bar and Lounge. Excellent food, very friendly wait staff, and a wonderful ambiance. A great ambiance is there as well. You can bring your dogs. They've got a patio area outside as well where you can bring your furry friends. They've got happy hours happening every day, and it's a local gastropub. Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Quarterback Show. Now, walk over, let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you heard this radio message. Taps Restaurant at International Plaza on Bay Street. Excellent food, very friendly staff, and my favorite restaurant here in Tampa Bay. And we got a great lineup for you here in studio today. More from Diane Vance coming up as well. We've got Ray Hall Appraisals, and attorney Jason Kobal coming up. I want to talk values now with Ray Hall Appraisals. So you see things happening out there. This is that time where the market's been kind of trending up. It's trending up. We're talking about a market shift, but we're really not seeing much of a market shift here locally.
No, definitely not seeing any declines in value. But I am seeing that, you look at the difference between 2017 to 2018 and then 2018 to 2019, we did see those increases. Yep. Now it doesn't seem to be that, steady of an increase as we saw before. Even looking at sales over 6 months prior, there's not a significant difference in sale prices that I'm seeing in most of the neighborhoods in Tampa now. As I always say, neighborhoods vary, markets vary. So, you'd have to look at your specific market area, to get a correct analysis on that. But overall, I'm just not seeing the large increases in sale prices that we were seeing a year or two ago.
Yeah, a lot of areas were double digit increases year over year. Now it's more single, mid to low increases, which is a healthy economy, right?
Yeah, that's how things happen. What we saw back in 2005 was it was odd. Yeah. Even back then, so 2004, 2005, I was a trainee.
Yep.
And I even remember thinking back then, wow, people are really refinancing their house every single year and taking all this cash out to pay off credit cards year after year. When does it come to a head?
Yeah.
And it did in 2007. So, we're not seeing that now. People aren't going crazy with lending. It's a nice, healthy market.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing people say, well, when's the next crash? Well, I don't think it's going to be a crash.
Right.
It's called a correction.
Exactly.
Things slow down. Maybe everybody's got a low rate. Everybody's in the house they want. So it slows down a little bit, and maybe it'll get a little more competitive with pricing, but then it'll kick back up again. And that's a good market. It's supposed to do that.
That's right. Yeah. The inventory levels are still low. That's what's interesting. I use that number that's still in my head. Pinellas County 2 months ago had the lowest number of active inventory, 4,883 homes available on the market at the end of the month. I believe it was August. That stat just stays in my head. 6 years, that's the lowest number of active inventory in Pinellas County.
Yeah. And at times I'm even in neighborhoods, and sometimes it's hard finding listing comps and things like that because there's nothing similar to what I'm appraising.
Yes.
So that also gives you an indication. But one thing I'll tell everybody now: this is also not the time to overpay for your real estate, because if you do have that correction, you're going to be instantly underwater.
Exactly.
Within a few months.
Exactly.
So, and I keep seeing it now, and I always laugh when the listing price was, say, $250 and the contract is $260.
Yeah.
Well, do you ever go to Walmart and offer more than what they're asking?
Right.
No. So don't do it for your house.
Yeah.
Negotiate, because I can guarantee you can find something else in the neighborhood at a similar price with what you want. So don't overpay. The listing price, if it's fair, offer the listing price, but don't go crazy and put yourself into too much debt right now, because a turn in the market's going to put you in a bad place.
Now, we're talking with Ray Hall Appraisals here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, Ray, they're also, if they're in that position, they have to disclose if they're getting seller concessions, right?
Yes.
So talk about that and how that affects appraisal.
Well, it's something that we do analyze, and when I have my comparables, I go through the MLS, because as you know, on the MLS sheets, it tells me what their concessions were.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't conform to the market, that's an adjustment. So, maybe that one sale over there was $20,000 higher than everybody else, and everyone's thinking that's the value.
Yeah.
Well, if that's because of a $20,000 concession, which maybe it's a 15% concession when everybody else is getting 3%, well, I have to adjust for that.
Yeah.
Because that's not really a sale price. That was just a way to funnel cash around for somebody to get closing costs or whatever. So that does impact. So and I've had instances where people were just so hard set on some of these comps, and I'm like, well, that's because of the concessions,
right?
And they're above what the normal market is, so there really does need to be an adjustment for that.
Yeah, and the average homeowner doesn't understand that, and they're always going to err on the side of my house is gold.
Yep.
That house was
exactly
silver.
And that's why if you're relying on websites to estimate your value, they don't know that.
Yeah,
They don't know those concessions, and they don't know about the inside of that house. So be careful, putting your faith in that website that generates a value in a matter of seconds.
That's right.
If I could do that, oh goodness,
yeah,
I'd sleep more at night. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. If it only was that easy, go to a website, plug it in. You wouldn't have a job.
I would work 5 minutes a day.
Yeah,
I'd be out on the water jet skiing. It would be great.
Yeah,
get appraisal, get mortgage, doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, stay with us. When we come back, we got Diane Vance in the house, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Ray Hall Appraisals, and coming up, attorney Jason Kobal with Kobal Law, all local businesses here supporting the local economy here. That's the idea of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We have our feel good story of the day as well. Find out about this company surprise, 198 employees. They got a $10 million holiday bonus. Find out about that right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yep. Woo! Can't remember it. Ask an attorney about Florida law.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate sales, buying, selling, and investing. We'd love to talk to you. This segment is brought to you by Infinity Medical Institute. Check them out here in Tampa, right on West Shore Boulevard. And they offer hormone therapy treatments, and they've got pellet hormone therapy as well. Over 10 years in the business and over 40,000 patients successfully treated at Infinity Medical Institute. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers. And they offer low T therapy, weight loss planning, cosmetic services like Botox. They have offer improved sexual wellness and increased energy, all at Infinity Medical Institute. I just heard they're offering stem cells as well. So I want to try those out at some point. Get those stem cells shot in the knees or wherever you're aching at, right? Your neck in some cases. InfinityMedicalInstitute.com. Check them out online, and they're right here in Tampa, just south of the International Plaza Mall at West Shore Boulevard and just north of the West Shore Mall on West Shore Boulevard there. So Infinity Medical Institute, longtime friends of the program, and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, if you would please. We appreciate that. And got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here for this segment. We've got a property, $2 million listing at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a beautiful, gorgeous waterfront. Bring your boat to this beautiful palace at 6,700 square feet. Plenty of room for entertaining all your guests and throwing some really fun parties. And you've got bay access, of course, direct out to the Gulf fishing. Some of the best fishing in the world right here in Tampa Bay. 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey offers the ultra high security as well. You've got 2 security gates that you have to go through before you even get on the street of Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. And I want to talk to you about a little vacant land property listing that we've got, 15676 Mahoney Drive in Spring Hill. We got 9 acres here. If you want that country setting, that rural area, we've got 9 acres in the highly desirable subdivision of Shady Acres. And it's in a great opportunity to own. There's plenty of wildlife around you as well. Beautiful deer and turkeys and bird watching as well. 15676 Mahoney Drive in Spring Hill. And we've got lots of other vacant land opportunities as well. We've got 45 listings currently with the Platinum MVP team. So if you're looking for vacant land, single family homes, even commercial opportunities, reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. And check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And I want to remind you about our event coming up on January 8th, benefiting Wounded Warriors as well. So it's all about our veterans, Wounded Warriors. It's going to be an awesome time. We've got 2 champion fighters coming in to Florida Firearms Academy on Wednesday, January 8th. It's going to be a VIP meet and greet. Ken Shamrock, UFC Hall of Famer and WWF legend. Tampa's own Antonio Tarver, world champion, 5-time world boxing champion here, and he's right here from Tampa. So tickets are available on eventbrite.com. We've got a Facebook page as well. Check it out online. We've got DJ Yahoo's going to be spinning. I think we just got a commitment from DJ Yahoo. I see the thumbs up back there. So we got DJ Yahoo going to be in the house. We got food, networking over at Florida Firearms Academy here in Tampa Bay. So it's a great time, and don't miss that opportunity on Wednesday, January 8th. All right, we got a great lineup here today. Diane Vance is in the house. Fairway Independent Mortgage, Ray Hall Appraisals, and now we're going to talk with attorney Jason Kobal Law. So what's happening in your space, buddy?
Well, I got some exciting news. I think I told you about my battle I have with hospitals and medical providers that bill injured workers.
Yeah.
And in my line of work, I do contingency fee work, so I don't bill by the hour. If I lose, I don't get paid. So that's every time you go to the trial, it's like a bit of a gamble. Well, with these new cases that I've been handling, there's never been case law made on this particular subject.
Wow.
Prior to my case that turned into a big class action, the second DCA recently ruled on. And then I have another case that's with the same second DCA against a local hospital about another issue where they were billing an injured worker. But an attorney from down south caught wind of it and literally just called me up last week.
Wow.
And now we are going to join forces and hopefully succeed in finishing my case here so this will be the third case in line with the way we look at that particular issue.
Wow.
And then we're going to try to go outside of Florida because it's actually the first time in the whole country that this issue has been, precedence has been created.
Wow.
And what it is when you're an injured worker, there's the Florida workers' comp law that says medical providers are not supposed to bill injured workers. Well, they do it all the time.
Wow.
And we bring suits under the Fair Debt Statutes, which is like FDCPA for debt collectors, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FCCPA for providers, and then the Telephone Collections Practices Act as well, if they're calling you a bunch. But so we're very excited to be the first in the state to create law that says we can bring those cases, and we're nailing the hospitals for doing it, and the debt collectors.
Wow, that's awesome, man! Congratulations on that. That's really cool.
Very cool.
Not many times do attorneys get to enter in that space,
right? And I lost my train of thought there. When I go to court, just normally, if I lose money. If I win, I get paid. So it's like almost like gambling.
Yeah.
In these cases, if I lose the appeal, I create bad law for the like all consumer advocates. So it's actually, that's even more of a stress.
Yeah.
But it does look good. And this particular new case that I learned of from this new firm that I'm now joining forces with, it involved the debt collection company. And this isn't necessarily just for medical bills.
Yep.
The previous law stated if you're a debt collection company, you can rely on what the creditor gives you and assume it's correct.
Huh.
And when you first get that letter from a debt collector, it says you have 30 days to contact them if you dispute the validity. If you don't, you are stuck. Even if it's invalid debt, they get to rely on it, which I thought was ridiculous. And these guys down south, luckily, they got a new judge in federal court to rule that no, as far as the medical bills, they have a duty. They can't just rely on the medical provider telling them it's correct. They have a duty. I mean, when they get any kind of debt, they check if the person filed for bankruptcy. They check if they have any liens on them or what have you. They have to also add to check if they're an injured worker, because these companies, they collect medical debt, and the law says you can't bill injured workers for medical debt. So now that court said, add that to your list of things you do when you get these things, because you got to do it.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if we were to rely on what went on the credit reports, for example, with mortgage loans and those types of things, a lot of stuff thrown on there over the years. It could have been somebody's, Social Security number was one digit off, with a lot of typos. Who knows how this stuff ends up on people's credit? It seems like that's similar to what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, it just puts more responsibility and accountability on them. And that's the way it is now. They're going to have to deal with it, because now that, the federal court has spoken. So that's the law, at least here in Florida. So that's cool.
So Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And so, Jason, you're fighting for that worker. You're fighting for the people that, they don't have the huge amount of resources. They're injured already. First of all, you don't feel good. You're injured, then you got these people coming after you.
The way the system is set up is, as an employer, when you get workers' comp insurance, you get the protection of an employee can't sue you for an injury.
Yeah.
That's workers' comp immunity. That's what the employer gets. The injured worker, they don't have to prove any kind of fault or that the employer did something wrong. If you're hurt at work, you automatically get these benefits. And it's supposed to be a self-executing system that just, you're never supposed to need me.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just work on its own. And when these hospitals voluntarily, they know they're treating an injured worker, and instead of billing the carrier, they bill either the health insurance of the injured worker or the injured worker directly. They step out of that process, and it messes everything up.
Wow.
So that's, the laws were set up in a manner that they are, and they have to adhere to them.
Wow.
So, but I tell you, you're right, though. I mean, the reason why this is up at the District Court of Appeal is because we went up against, I'm not going to name it, but a huge hospital here, one of the biggest in the state, and we lost at the trial court and even in the circuit court, and then it took the DCA to straighten it out. And I have a feeling the amount of money and power they have had a lot to do with it, because they were wrong on the law. At least the DCA said so.
Wow.
So
the DCA is
District Court of Appeal.
Okay.
So there's only 6 of them in the whole state. So when you have a case, you go to like county court or what have you.
Yep.
This one in particular started in small claims and then went to the circuit court for an appeal. And then it went to the District Court of Appeal. And then even though they sided in our favor, they said the question itself is a matter of public importance. So it's now with the Supreme Court of Florida to consider. But I'm hoping, because it's the first opinion, there's no other DCA of the 6 of them that disagrees, that the Supreme Court will just not touch it, because it's in our favor right now. But that's where it's at.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's exciting stuff. That's an area of that, you're helping the worker. You're helping the folks understand the law, and you might be setting a new precedent. That's pretty cool.
That's it. And if it went the other way and I blew it, and everyone would be, why did you take that up on appeal? Why didn't you wait for a better case? So I'm very fortunate it worked out thus far.
Yeah, that's awesome. Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, talk to our listeners out there, people driving in their car, maybe they're watching our TV show version. Who are you looking to service? Because you also do personal injury law as well.
Yeah. Well, I call myself an injury lawyer because whether you're hurt at work or you got hurt in a car accident, or maybe you're hurt and you can't work anymore, you want disability, anybody who is injured and is wondering what their rights are, I can help them out.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's great stuff. And personal injury, lots of things happen, car accidents, slip and falls at work or wherever, all those types of scenarios that play out outside. We talked about in the past, the nightclub, or a bar, you're at a restaurant, there's not enough security there, you get jumped, there's a situation where there's not lighting in a certain area. All these things are things to look out.
Yeah, pretty much if you're injured, and you could think of anybody, whether it's a business or another person that you feel caused it.
Right.
Definitely talk to a lawyer and call me, and we'll talk about it and see if there's something there.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372. If you have any potential injury claims, reach out to 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line, and you can also submit an email form at consumerqb.com. All right, so more from Jason coming up here in our lightning round. Coming up next as well, we got Diane, Vance, Ray Hall in the house, Ray Hall Appraisals, and our feel-good story of the day is a good one. This company surprises its 198 employees with $10 million holiday bonus. Find out about that right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. On the other side of this break, we're taking a quick timeout.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and changed them.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As you're super connected, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job moving my family to our new lake house. And whether you're planning a local or long-distance move, Brothers Easy Moving can make it happen for you. Stress-free. Awesome company to work with. I've known Gary Thacker, the owner of the company, for years. And a big shout out to Captain Matt Bruce as well. He contacted me yesterday. He had one of his listeners wanting a moving company, so we referred them to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. And today we got a great one out there coming at you right now.
Tell me something good.
All right, so the Maryland company surprised its 198 employees with a $10 million holiday bonus on Saturday. The Baltimore-based real estate firm St. John Properties recently achieved its goal of developing 20 million square feet space in 8 states, according to a company press release. The company's founder and chairman, Edward St. John, surprised the employees at their annual holiday party. Each employee opened a red envelope and revealed their bonus surprise. The average employee is getting $50,000 of the share, but the size depends on their years of service. Some are getting 6-figure bonuses upwards of $250,000. And quote, to celebrate the achievement of our goal, we wanted to reward our employees in a big way that would make a significant impact on their lives, said Edward St. John. Quote, I am thankful for every one of our employees and for their hard work and dedication. I couldn't think of a better way to show it. Now, that's awesome. That's a really cool story.
Yeah,
8 states. Think about the different types of laws, too, with all those different
huge
states.
For development?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have all sorts of little laws.
Permitting issues.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all those types of things.
Endangered species. Different states have different animals you can't touch.
That's right.
You know.
Scrub Jay. We got that on our seller disclosure. It says any archaeological sites or anything.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah. Indian burial grounds.
Yeah, all those things.
I had to appraise one once.
Did you?
It's not an easy
that's
task.
right. I remember that story.
I had to do an Indian mound.
Oh my goodness!
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
For value or subtraction of value?
it was being purchased by the state, and so the first thing I had to find out was, what's the cost of removing the mound? Because it has to be done by a professional company. $1 million.
Wow. So they had to excavate it out and try to relocate it.
If you bought it, Brandon Rhymes bought it and wanted to build on that specific site, that's what you would have to do.
Yeah.
And you're better off just going and buying a site somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the state was buying it to preserve it and keep it. But there had been other excavations in the area. There was a burial site, and I had to learn everything there is to know about
So the
Indian
state
mounds and everything else.
State, aka the taxpayers, bought it.
Yes, they did.
We bought it.
We bought it.
They should have roped off a little area.
Congratulations, you now own a burial ground.
Exactly.
Money well spent.
And I gave them a fair price. So
you look at too. Something that you look at, you see all these things about Bezos, recently, and Walmart getting out of paying taxes. I saw another thing that came up on Yahoo Finance. Here we are, the small income earners. Less than $1 million, for example. And these behemoth companies get to pay zero in taxes. I don't understand it.
That's a red flag. We need to change things, honestly.
We do, man.
I mean, that's crazy.
Absolutely. It should be number one on the ballot.
I
It's
agree.
like but the problem is a two-party system, et cetera. You get into
And those
that.
guys have all the power and all the
Exactly.
money. So,
Well, did you see actually how much they did not actually give to charity? There was actually a list. Did you guys see that?
Was that
at
the
all?
Walmart story or the?
No, it was like all the top earners, and they give like as an average for all the top earners in the world, give like less than 1%.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like they give to charity, and it's a lot of money, but when you take into account what they make, it's
percentage-wise.
Yeah.
I saw the documentary on Bill Gates, and it was interesting. And of course, it was
I watched
probably
I was watching that.
probably backed by him or paid by them, and makes them look great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming up with the idea of what was the very end thing was about the power, the not solar power, but the other nuclear power.
Nuclear, yes.
So
you're right.
was that the same one?
Yes, it was the same one.
Very interesting, because the melting point of the metal that he was using in the boilers or whatever could never really be impacted by an airplane crash, terrorist act, or whatever. So he's got the design for it.
Right.
Now you got to implement it, and there's some issues with China going on right now, and I guess it's somehow related to that.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
it seems like everything is.
Yeah, exactly. Get the big three, big Russia, United States, Chinese, and
just get along.
That's right. Let's all get along.
Just play together.
That's right. Yeah. Don't. So back to taxes. So it's like we're spending that kind of money, the proverbial $150 hammer that you spend money. The government contracts, all those things. So
the toilet seat.
Exactly.
The golden one.
How can we impact it, right?
Especially when you're a business owner. I mean, when you're an employee, you look forward to April because a lot of times you're getting that tax return.
Yeah.
You're a business owner. You're like, I hope March just drags.
I hope the next 4 months are very slow.
Yeah, it's just freeze time right now because I'm not ready for next month.
And that's a good point too. With the end of the year, a lot of times sellers are saying, "Oh, I'm just going to wait till January. I'm going to wait." Well, right now is a great time because there are people that want to make that purchase before the end of the year.
And we still can close loans before the end of the year as long as I get it before the 16th.
Nice. So that's really cool.
Yes.
So you got that fast a turn time, Diane.
We do. Yeah,
so
we are
Diane
actually
Vance.
all caught up for the month, and one of our best months, and we're almost done.
Well-oiled machine over there at Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Why I'm so busy right now.
Yeah, Ray's busy. You're trying to pump deals through, and it's a situation where if you can get into the home, as long as you close before December 31, technically you can have that whole year, right? As far
homestead.
as your
get homestead. Yeah. So as long as you're in before December 31st and close, then you can file homestead by March 1st, and next year you'll get homestead unless the house has homestead on it currently, which you'll still get it, but you want to make sure that you can still file.
And you can do the portability thing as well.
Correct.
If you're moving from Tampa to Palm Harbor, you can port your homestead over as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that gives you a discount as well.
Gives you that built-in discount. You
Correct.
can only, according to the Save Our Homes, you can only increase 3% each year.
Correct.
So it locks you into that.
It's actually very good. Yeah.
It's super awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a quick round of top tips, nuggets of advice in our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom, Diane Vance.
Just happy holidays to everybody. And I want to tell you to stop renting, start planning to buy. And you're going to be getting tax refunds. There's programs out there to help. So give me a call. 727-647-8199, or my website is dianevance.com. I can also send you a mobile app that actually has a great calculator on it that will automatically figure payments for you.
Yeah,
so
that's
just
awesome.
Give me a call.
Excellent. I like it. Ray Hall Appraisals.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Brandon. As always, don't guess about that value on your house. Don't rely on a quick and easy website. Yep. Call my office. We can do a $150 restricted use appraisal on any real estate. And office number is 813-452-5369, or go to rayhallappraisals.com.
Awesome. I like it. Attorney Jason Kobal.
I'm going to go a little bit off subject for me, but I know my fellow guests will back me on this.
Yeah.
If you're looking to lose a little weight, the keto diet is legit.
That's legit.
I swear. I was never into that stuff before, and I'm not an expert, but I've tried it now for 9 days, and it is the real deal.
Wow. So got to cut out all the carbs, though, right?
Low carbs, 25 grams of carbs is grams, right?
Yep.
A
Net
day.
carbs. Net carbs.
There's total carbs and then net carbs, right?
Your vegetables have the fiber, and it kind of cancels some out. So.
Right. So you can't go over that. But if you do that, the first couple days are tough. But then once you hit the ketosis level, you'll feel great. So I recommend it.
You actually think better.
Yeah.
And I like it. I remember, who was it? That golfer last year. Remember, there was a golfer that was in a slump. He wasn't hitting the ball like he used to. He did a 4 or 5 day fast to clear his mind. How does that work, right? Your body's got less functioning going on in the digestion system.
I don't start eating until 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'll have a couple meals and then that's it.
Yeah.
And folks, this is an insight into what we talk about off air.
There you go. That's right. It's an insight into
how much
the
do we
off-air
weigh
conversation.
at Christmas?
Yeah. That time of year, right? Setting those goals, goal setting.
Right.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do in January?
That's right.
It's that time of year, exactly. So you look at look at these different types of goals. You got monetary goals, family, spiritual goals. The health goals. The intermittent fasting is what you're referring to, Ray. That's so if you can eat within that 8-hour period, then you take 16 hours to fast. So then your body's going to be breaking down and burning
everything. Yep. Yeah. And
they just put on CNN. They have Tom Brady's diet.
Oh, okay.
I just I don't know, 3 days ago or so, it was on CNN, and I guess he posted on Facebook.
Cool.
And it actually has his diet, and he doesn't eat much.
He always talks about pliability, stretching and being pliable.
Yeah, he only uses bands. He doesn't actually lift weights.
Not much strength training.
Yeah, and it's mostly a vegetarian diet, which does not fit in with keto, but it is a vegetarian.
All right, hey, another great show. Thanks to all of our expert
you.
contributors here. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Donate some blood, pack up some food, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Maybe swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.